Chisom and her agency crew had just arrived in Bizen for their trip, and fans filled the air with excited cheers outside the venue. Excitement buzzed through the crowd as they eagerly waited to catch a glimpse of their favorite stars. Chisom stepped out, and the crowd erupted. Fans screamed her name, waving banners and signs with her face on them. The support was overwhelming, and a soft smile formed on her lips as she waved at them. Not far behind her, Yumi and Minseo arrived. The cheers dropped, noticeably quieter for them. The fans barely reacted, their focus still on Chisom. Yumi and Minseo fumed with silent anger as they walked past, trying to hide their irritation. Later that night, outside the lodge, Yumi and Minseo sat in a quiet corner under the dim lights. "She ruined everything for me," Yumi muttered, her voice sharp. "Because of Chisom, my friends and I got suspended. My mother was embarrassed. Do you know how humiliating that was, me, Yumi, suspended?" Yumi continued, "Chisom acts like some saint now, walking around like a star. That's why I'm here. My mom made sure I'd get into star entertainment. I came here to stay in her face. Just like we promised." Minseo nodded slowly. "I don't hate Chisom the way you do, but I get it. She's flying too high, a little humbling won't hurt." Yumi smirked. "Exactly. Let's remind her where she really belongs." The next day, the trainees were on their way to a fan meeting. Yumi and Minseo sat together, dressed in the same outfits. Chisom stepped in and quietly found a seat nearby. "Hi, Chisom," Yumi greeted, her tone smooth, almost too friendly. Chisom returned the greeting, "Hi." As she settled into her seat, she noticed they wore the same outfit. She couldn't help but wonder what they were really up to this time. They arrived at the venue right on time, with fans already waiting. The crowd cheered them as the interview began immediately. The host grinned in amusement. "Wow. First of all, welcome, ladies. You look like a fierce duo today. Tell me, was this matching outfit planned, or?" Yumi laughed lightly, flipping her hair. "We don't plan, we just click," she said. "Great minds dress alike." The host chuckled but leaned in. "But Yumi, you only recently joined Star Entertainment, right? It's kind of rare to see such fast bonding, especially with Minseo." Yumi smiled again, but colder this time. "I align myself with people who understand me," she said simply. "All right," she said, scrolling. "This one's interesting. A fan wants to know, what's your relationship like with the other trainees? Especially with Chisom, since you're all getting a lot of attention lately." Minseo glanced at Yumi nervously, but Yumi didn't hesitate. "My relationship with Chisom, there isn't one." Yumi leaned back, voice cool and confident. "Let's not sugarcoat things. I don't like pretending for the camera. Chisom and I don't vibe. Not now, not anymore." The host raised her brows slightly. "Oh, care to share why?" Yumi tilted her head, the smile never leaving her lips. "Let's just say, I don't do fake friendships. People who act all sweet and innocent in public, then switch when the cameras are off. That's not for me. I can't trust someone who wears a mask better than makeup." There was a beat of stunned silence. The fans watching exploded in the chat. "Oh my god, did she called Chisom fake. What happened between them?" Chisom sat very still, eyes fixed straight ahead. All she could do was smile. But behind that smile, she knew Yumi had crossed a line, and it wasn't something to let slide. Yumi's comment still lingered in the air, and the interviewer turned to Chisom, clearly waiting for her reaction. Then Sungjai entered. Star Entertainment's golden boy. Viral, confident, and touchable, the room fell silent. Because he was wearing the same exact outfit as Chisom. The host, flustered, jumped in. "Sungjai, wow, this is a surprise. You're matching Chisom." Sungjai smiled coolly. "Not a surprise, just sticking to what we discussed." Yumi blinked, disgust. He didn't even glance at her. "Earlier, we thought it'd be fun to pair off. Didn't think it would cause this much. And no, before anyone asks, there's no big stage moment or extra show planned. We've got to catch up on something." Then he turned smoothly to the photographers. "You can take your shots now. We'll be leaving shortly." No one dared say a word. Yumi stared straight ahead, her smile stiff and unblinking. Minseo's lips twitched like she wanted to speak, but didn't. And Chisom, she didn't have to say anything. because once again, someone tried to dim her light and it only made her shine harder. But the fans were not fooled. They saw the game. They saw who tried to destroy and who chose to protect. And most importantly, they saw who stood up without saying a word. Chisom sat on her bed, deep in thought. The day had drained her, and her mind wouldn't stop running. Her phone buzzed. It was Sanjay. "Can I talk to you outside?" he asked. She agreed without hesitation. Moments later, they stood together. No noise, no crowd, just the two of them. Sanjay looked at her, then gave a small smile. "Next time you're choosing an outfit," he said, "pick something easier to find. Do you know how long it took me to find something that looked like yours?" She gave a small laugh. "Good thing you posted it," he added. "The moment I saw what they wore today, I knew what they were trying to do. And when I saw your outfit, I knew what I had to do." Chisom smiled, the kind that came from genuine gratitude. "Thank you," she said. "You don't have to," he replied. "I just didn't like what they were trying to pull." Sanjay continued, "About everything that happened today, and according to what I found out, Yumi is here because of her mother's influence. Her mother's company is collaborating with our agency. That's probably why she feels so bold, like she can do whatever she wants." Chisom looked at him, processing the weight of his words. "But trust me," he added, looking straight at her, "I'm going to discuss everything that happened today with the manager. It can't go on like this. I'll make sure something is done." As Chisom stepped back into the hotel room, her face was tight with frustration. "Si problemo. Yumi and her mom will not frustrate me here in Korea," she muttered. "Wait fist, them go fear my return. Nonsense. Make I show them small pepper." Without overthinking it, Chisom grabbed her phone and hit the go live button. Chisom looked into the camera. "I don't usually do this," she began, "but I need to clear the air." She talked about how Yumi tried to humiliate her at the fan gathering, painting her as fake, and acting like there was some hidden grudge between them. "And honestly, I don't even know where all that hate is coming from. We barely talk." She said things that weren't true, Chisom continued. "We had a problem in school, and she decided to wash our dirty linen in public. Well, I'm fully ready this time. Should we talk about her mom?" Another story for another day. She shifted to Minseo. "I expected better from her, sitting beside someone throwing shade and pretending like she saw nothing. That says everything," she exhaled. "One thing I'll never do is let anyone rewrite the story of who I am. Yumi started it online, so we'll finish it online." Her viewers flooded the comments with support, shocked emojis, and fire icons. The next morning arrived, and Chisom was already at the hotel dining area for breakfast. She was scanning the buffet table when their manager, Mr. Kong, walked up to her. "Chisom, what was the meaning of that live stream last night?" Chisom turned, startled. "Wait, sir. With all due respect, Yumi literally embarrassed me in front of everyone at the fan event. Why hasn't that been addressed? But the moment I defend myself, it's suddenly a problem. I'm the victim here. Did you see the comments after what she said about me? People twisting everything, dragging me online. I had to clear my name." "You don't add fuel to the fire," the manager said, lowering his voice. "Why escalate it like that?" Just then, Sanjay, who came for breakfast, overheard the exchange. He came over. "But why shouldn't she?" he cut in. "Honestly, I liked what she did. This whole, let's protect Yumi at all costs thing is getting out of hand." Manager Kong shot him a look. "This affects us as a brand, Sanjay. Does all this online back and forth really help? And turning a blind eye to everything she does helps us how?" The manager didn't answer. He simply exhaled and said, "From now on, no more reactions from any of you." Then he walked away, leaving them both standing there. That same morning, Madame Seo arrived at the agency. Just as she stepped in, President Cha was walking through the main doors. Without waiting for pleasantries, she approached her. "President Cha, I need to understand what's going on in this agency. How could you allow that girl, Chisom, to speak so carelessly online? Do you know how many people have sent me clips of her live stream?" The president paused, giving a calm nod. "Madame Seo, I understand you're upset." Madame Seo cut in immediately. "She didn't only drag my daughter into that nonsense. She mentioned me publicly, and you did nothing. Is this how your agency handles scandals? Because if so, My company is ready to terminate our collaboration. President Cha held her gaze, her tone steady. We're looking into it. Please be assured we're handling the matter. Nothing will go unnoticed. The remaining days of the trip had been peaceful, and the trip was slowly coming to an end. Inside the practice room, Yumi and Minseo were going through moves for the upcoming fashion show. Yumi broke the silence. Chisom shouldn't mistake my silence for weakness. By the way, my suspension from school is almost over. We'll meet there. Minseo glanced at her listening. Yumi smirked. By the way, Teo's racing competition is coming. I heard she promised to be there. Let's see how that goes. She paused, then added, and for my mom's fashion show, I've got plans for her. The fashion show had ended the night before. Chisom had some unexpected shoots scheduled that morning. She was confused as to why she was the only one given an extra shoot, but she hurried through it anyway. Teo's competition was in the early afternoon, and she had promised to be there. Meanwhile, Yumi had already left that morning. She was at the stadium early, dressed up and ready to cheer for Teo with everything she had. Teo was all set. He looked around, clearly hoping to see Chisom, but all he saw was Yumi waving and shouting his name from the stands. The competition kicked off. Teo kept glancing at the crowd, searching. Halfway through the race, Chisom arrived, panting and trying to catch her breath. After a while, something happened. Teo suddenly lost his balance on a sharp turn and fell hard. Gasps echoed around the stadium. He was immediately rushed off the track. Teo lay on the hospital bed when Chisom stepped into the room. Her heart clenched at the sight of him. Worrying was written all over her face as she rushed to his side. Teo, how are you feeling? She asked softly. You promised to be there, he murmured. Chisom, why did you do this to me? Chisom bit her lip, nodding quickly, her voice trembling. I know. I'm so sorry. I really tried. I finished the shoot and rushed down. You were the first person who ever truly believed in me, he said. And the one person I wanted to see there. Her throat tightened, guilt washing over her. I wanted to be there too, she whispered. But you weren't. His voice cracked slightly. You weren't. I saw Yumi in the crowd before the race even started. You were all in Bison. If she could make it, what was your excuse? Chisom's hands clenched at her sides. I didn't choose to miss it, she said, her voice shaking. They gave me a surprise shoot. I didn't even know until the last minute. Teo didn't respond right away. He stared at the ceiling, then finally said, more quietly than before, Chisom, I expected more from you. Just then, the door opened again. Yumi stepped in, stopping short when she saw Chisom already there. You really made it here, Yumi said. But Teo didn't look at either of them. His voice came soft and distant. Please, I need some time alone, both of you. Just leave. Chisom froze, her eyes searching his face one last time for anything, but he had already turned away. With a heavy heart, she stood and walked toward the door, brushing silently past a stunned Yumi, who followed her out without a word. The door clicked shut behind them,